Biden has a plan to hopefully increase affordable housing. And as you know, in 2021, housing prices have shot through the roof, and so have rents. Rents have increased dramatically, and home prices are up roughly 20% year over year, which has led many people to stay away from purchasing a home, and the American dream is basically non-existent when it comes to owning a home. So today I wanted to go over the steps Biden has proposed on whitehouse.gov to make sure there's more affordable housing over the next 3 years. So the good news is that in the second quarter of 2021, after the pandemic, delinquent mortgages have dropped from 8% to roughly 5.5%, which shows that people are starting to pay more on their mortgages and they can afford their houses, which is great. Hopefully people are getting back to work. So Biden's Build Back Better plan is making existing houses better, safer, healthier, and more green, so more energy efficient. Over the next 3 years, Biden plans to add roughly around 100,000 homes. Right here, it says that Biden is going to raise Fannie Mae's and Freddie Mac's, the enterprise's equity cap for the low-income housing tax credit, the largest federal program for the construction and rehabilitation of affordable rental housing, making more funding available to community development, finance institutions, and nonprofit housing groups for affordable housing production under the Capital Management Fund. He's also going to boost the supply of manufactured housing in 2 to 4 unit properties by expanding financing through Freddie Mac, make more single-family homes available to individuals, families, and nonprofit organizations rather than large investors by prioritizing homeownership and limiting the sale to large investors of certain FHA-insured and HUD-owned properties, in addition to expanding and creating exclusivity periods in which only governmental entities, owner-occupants, and qualified nonprofit organizations are able to bid on certain FHA insured and government-owned properties. Whew. So lastly, Biden says he's going to work with the state and local governments to boost housing supply by leveraging existing federal funds to spur local action, exploring federal levers that help states and local governments reduce exclusionary zoning, and launching learning and listening sessions with local leaders. He's going to make financing more available for manufactured housing as well. So basically what all this means is that Biden plans to work with states and work with lenders, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, to sort of have guidelines for more affordable housing. So what this means right now, there are guidelines that are extremely strict here in 2021 to get a loan from Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. And of course, if someone is struggling and they're not making a lot of money, especially if they are, receiving Section 8 income money from the government to pay for housing, there is a limited supply to these houses. So Biden wants to work with local state governments to make sure that they are expanding their Section 8 housing. So to me, this is good news. Obviously, we want affordable housing for a lot of people. 100,000 units, especially when we're in a affordability crisis as well as a housing shortage crisis. Between 4 and 5 million homes are needed in the U.S. to actually meet the demand right now. So my thoughts on this is that 100,000 homes is not really going to make a dent in anything. There needs to be more affordable housing, especially the way the economy is going right now, with inflation being extremely high and affordability being non-existent. I think home prices are going to continue to go up in 2022, especially if mortgage rates stay low, which they're expecting to. But on the flip side, if you're one of those people that are waiting for home prices to come down in 2022 or 2023, you might be right, but the offset's going to be is that the interest rates are going to go up. So the purchasing power will go down and people will still be left in the dust that can't afford homes now. So I think it's a great way for Biden to try to work on the affordable housing crisis. I think that 100,000 homes is not a lot and it won't do anything. I definitely think that if Biden were to work with individual states and zoning is a huge issue when it comes to building, especially here in California. Although we did just get rid of the single family zoning, which will help people add to their properties, whether it's ADU units like I talk about in my other videos, building out garages to have a one bed, one bath, or if there's developers knocking down single family homes and building fourplexes, duplexes, and triplexes. This will help bring in more units. But in other states, I'm not quite sure what they're doing to zoning laws. But so depending on where you live, Section 8, like I said before, people will get paid by the government to pay their lease. So this is good for investors because if you're an investor and you have a Section 8 property, you can expect the rent to come in 99.9% of the time because you're getting paid by the state. So with this being said, it's not a bad way to go, especially if you're an investor now here in 2021. And if you think the gap is widening, people are getting more rich and people are getting more poor and the middle class is going to disappear, then it's not a bad idea if you're willing to house Section 8 tenants and collect a check from the state. So the money's going to be coming from American Rescue Plans. There's $350 billion state and local fiscal recovery funds explicitly allows recipients, states, territories, tribal governments, and localities, including cities and counties, to invest these funds in development of preservation of affordable housing as part of the response to public health emergency and its desperate impacts on certain populations and geographies. Already, at least 42 cities and 33 states have publicly proposed deploying resources on affordable housing investments of some type. So this right here is good news because, like I mentioned before, these local governments, cities are going to be getting money from the government to deploy into affordable housing. I think this is a step in the right direction. And I do think moving forward, we're going to see a lot of states start purchasing properties and dictating the amount of rent the property will receive as well as the sales price. I do think that affordable housing is necessary and it's a lot of opportunity for investors as well as a good thing for the people. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think we're heading in the right direction with affordable housing? Do you think it's good, bad? Do you actually think that 100,000 units over the next 3 years is going to do anything? Or do you think we need more capital allocated to this problem here in the U.S.? Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching.